Oh, happy birthday, Mwezi. Big birthday weekend for the Expresso family. But right now, I'm chatting to the parents, and if you're trying to get your kids to eat more fruits and live a healthier lifestyle, this next recipe is going to do the trick.
I'll go. I want to be
Oh, he's back.
Oh. Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
Now, who doesn't love some pancakes on a weekend morning? Our sip-up pancakes are leveled up with a fruity compote that is so easy to whip up for the kids and, of course, the adults alike, who will enjoy these as part of a brunch, as a breakfast, as a lunch, as a dinner, as a gap filler, whatever you want. This is going to sort you out. Now, it's not a competition, okay, but we're going to be making the best compote ever. And this is one of those things I would imagine in chef school. I can see how excited you are at this. Is it the pancakes or the compote that's making you this excited?
I've got a message from Mwezi before I answer that. Hey Mwezi, it's your birthday. I'm gonna make some pancakes for your birthday.
Yeah?
Yes.
Nice. Man.
Compote, jam, jellies. Do we know what the difference is? Do you want me to fill you
I
in?
would love to know the difference.
All right,
Please.
so a compote, a preserve, all of those, the jams tend to have some fruit pieces in them, just depends on how big or how small.
Okay.
The jelly, on the other hand, uses the liquid from there. So you make your jams, you cook it down, or rather your fruit, cook it down. The liquid from there is then what you set with the setting agent, either cornstarch or something like that.
Okay.
So today, because we're making a compote, we're gonna make sure we keep the fruits as whole as possible, and they'll just break down as they cook.
And maybe not as much, because I kind of think of a compote as being slightly less sweet than a jam or a preserve.
Correct.
In that sense. It's not quite as loaded with the sugar. Obviously, it is quite sugar intensive because fruit is sucrose, so we know that, but I hope I got that right. It's a sugar. And what I like about a compote is it's maybe not as sweet and overpowering as a preserve, which lends itself to this kind of recipe. So it's not too much.
Because the whole idea here is all we want to do is we want the actual sugars from the fruit itself to be what break it down. We don't want to add any additional sugars, but I've added sugar here just because we want it to melt nicely and also create that thickening somewhat. Because most times if you're going to be thickening with cornstarch, then it thickens too quickly without breaking down. So here we want it to be nice,
break
slow,
down those
slow,
sugars.
break it down, do its thing. If you want to, you could also add some liquid in there, maybe some lemon juice. So we're just going to let this baby do its thing over there and thicken up. But obviously we need to have something to carry it, and that's where the pancakes come in.
And we don't need just one pancake, we need a stack of pancakes.
Of course.
So this is, I think, where South Africa is kind of, we sit on the fence in terms of crumpets and pancakes. I know in the US, what we perceive to be a crumpet is a pancake, and I mean, it's different all around the world.
Yeah.
So how would you term these? Are these, from a South African perspective, crumpets or pancakes? Are they thick pancakes?
Let me make it easier for everyone. There's a debate about what's what and what's not what. The fact of the matter is it depends on where you are in the earth. Some people call it flapjacks, some people call it pancakes. It all depends on whether you're adding a leavening agent or not. Like, for instance, crepes, you don't add any leavening. The eggs do the work itself. For the flapjacks and the crumpets and stuff, you have to add a bit of a leavening agent, and crumpets would be a little thicker than flapjacks or pancakes. Today, we're making cupcakes, and we're adding our favorite, sip up, so we're leveling up, you know?
I love that, and I love that we're going to add that flavor profile as well. We're going for the apricot. It's dangerous because you might drink it all before you've used it, so have two maybe is a good thing.
It's important,
And what I love about this, if you're looking for a nutritious drink to keep you going throughout the day, simply grab any flavor of your favorite sip up. It's perfect to just give you that little kind of surge of energy when you need it, and they're also delicious. And for this particular recipe, you can use any flavor to make your pancakes, and then play around with the fruits that are in season for your compote. And obviously we're using beautiful kind of summer berries because we have at the moment the most amazing produce. But it's also, I think I approach my veggies and my fruit like that, so that you're not spending a premium. Don't be buying imported fruit at the shop when we produce such amazing fruit here. Just keep it in season, man. Keep it in season.
Keep it in season. And then while I'm whisking up here, Mr. Seasonal, I asked you to cut up some of our peaches over there. Because our compote is not just going to be made up with the berries. We've got blueberries, we've got strawberries, but we're also adding the flavor that we already have in our sip up here. We're using apricot, yes, but tying into the same flavor profile, we're going to be using some peaches that are also going to go into our compote over here.
So how big do you want the just chunks or slices?
You can actually make slices because then it can also break down at the same level and rate as the rest
Okay.
of our berries. But again, now that I've made sure to grease my pan, suggestion whenever you're making a flapjack or pancake mixture, just give it about 5 minutes to allow all the liquid and all the dry ingredients to come together and form a beautiful, smooth batter.
Proving of sorts, I suppose.
Not even. You know, the thing is with stuff like your baking powders and your baking sodas, you don't want it to sit too long, otherwise the strength of it gets depleted.
Okay.
So if you're using yeast, yes, you want it to take some time and, you know, the gluten to work and do its thing. But if you're doing using baking powder and doing batters like this,
just enough time for it to kind of get going,
just
but not
to come
too long.
together.
Okay,
And then as soon as it's together, you can start enjoying that recipe. So now I've dropped in my first flapjack or pancake. As soon as it's in there, let it do its thing. Don't touch it, don't do anything. As soon as you start to see the bubbles breaking at the surface, then it's time to flip it over. But otherwise,
so form that kind of skin underneath so that it doesn't stick to the
Because we get too quickly, we want to start flipping it over, and it's not the
For
time
sure.
yet. Let it break surface. Once you start doing that, flip it over, and you'll get a beautiful, smooth flapjack or pancake. But in this instance, we just let it cook down. Our compote is ready. I don't know if you'd want to give it a taste, Mr.
I would definitely want to give it a taste. What sort of heat are we looking for on the pan?
We're looking
Jones?
at medium because you don't want it to burn. You don't want the outside to be burnt and the inside to be raw. So medium, let it cook low and slow, and then flip it over.
Look at this compote.
Look at the color even.
I
It's so
know, it's
vibrant.
beautiful. It's quite dramatic, hey? as a breakfast dish, very dramatic.
That's how we're going into this new year. We're going in with a lot of drama.
And I mean, not that it needs it, but you could throw in a bit of mascarpone there if you wanted something to
said
just
it.
elevate it.
You said it. Freshness, deliciousness, creaminess. I know,
I probably
know.
took a slightly bigger mouthful than I should have, but it's light as well. It's not overpowering. There is a sweetness in there, but the flavor of the fruits sing. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to save some for the rest of the team. This one is an absolute gem and a great way of getting a little bit more nutrients in to our kids and ourselves in the most enjoyable way. Now that's a sip up to level up. So to get this recipe, you can head over to expressoshow.com. And if you missed any of the steps, here's a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.